Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. As always, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel since yesterday. We were on 83 subscribers, but today we're on 89, as you can see on screen just now. As always as well, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe down below. I reckon we'll probably be close to the 100 mark by close of play today, but we'll 100% be there by the end of the weekend. As well, if you haven't joined the Discord, make sure you do so. The link is in the description. Feel free to do it, and there is currently 33 members, I believe it is, in the Discord now as well. And as well, I will just leave my Instagram on page. Feel free to go and follow that, and there's a link in the description to follow that as well. So yeah, click on that link, follow me there. And today guys, we're going to be speaking about Wetherspoons at the pub. I know that does sound like something of good interest just now, but yeah, we're going to be speaking about that and whether or not I think it's a potentially good buy. Obviously, conduct your own research. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, I just do these videos for entertainment purposes only. Now we've got that out of the way, let's get into the video. First of all, Wetherspoons has been around since around about 1979, and at the time of making this video, they're probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest companies within the actual sector, and they have a market cap of 1.6 billion at the time of recording this video. Despite them being closed for almost a year now, obviously they have had a wee break in September time, I believe it was, when the COVID restrictions were eased off a little bit. They have recovered nicely since March, and it goes to show their strength overall as a company. And at the time of recording this video, they are around about £12 a share, which is a relatively cheap investment. It doesn't require loads of capital to actually get involved in the game. So with the growth of the pandemic in 2020, it did cause a lot of pubs to close, which is unfortunate considering we would call some of them our second home. As you guys can see on screen at the minute, in 2020 alone, 2,500 pubs across the full UK were forced to close, and that isn't including what's more to come in 2021, as the pandemic yet hasn't shifted. Most of this has been caused due to a lack of business, and obviously the hospitality sector has been hit harder than everything else, which of course isn't really good news if you like a pub crawl like myself. But for Wetherspoons as a company, it could be seen as a little bit circumstantial and also a wee bit beneficial in their own favour, because that way it's going to strengthen their business, because more clientele is going to come through their doors than ever before. Furthermore to that as well, they could see a big benefit in the business sector, because they could look to buy out small independents, which in turn would obviously strengthen their business portfolio, making them even more dominant in their sector. And in my own opinion as well, I think it is relatively clear to say that Wetherspoons is going to survive the pandemic, since we are through the worst of it just now and we're coming towards the end of it, at least as long as no other strains do come out. And of course, as COVID cases begin to plummet as a result of numerous lockdowns and the vaccine having an effect, we could get closer and closer to seeing Wetherspoons actually opening, which of course is going to drive up the business and obviously the share price. Of course, unless something happens drastic in terms of news, it does kind of sound like it is going to be beneficial from Wetherspoons' point of view, all the way up from here. And not only that, although they are closed and there hasn't been any business coming through their doors, on a day of me making this video, they rose by around about 3%, which goes to show again the strength of the company, the fact they're able to rise in share price when their doors are physically closed to the public, and it is possibly the worst time possible for them. And the price trajectory for Wetherspoons is this, which I'll put on screen for you guys to read just now. Basically what it's saying is that they're going to average around £13.75 a share, but their highs could go all the way up to about £16 a share, but their lows could obviously go to about £11.50 a share as well. It is just a trajectory, but from what this is telling us, it does kind of sound like a good risk to reward, because they're currently trading at £12 a share at the minute, so they could go all the way up to 16, but only they are projected to go to about £11.50 on the downside, so overall that does sound relatively good. Plus as well guys, I expect it to be a massive surge in regards to what I basically call the post-COVID pop, which basically refers to stuff like cinemas, restaurants, pubs and commercial flights all flying in prices, obviously as COVID restrictions are eased. Obviously I don't have unlimited capital, but it might be something I might consider selling just a wee bit of my shares of everything else in order to actually get involved in this game, because it could be something to buy just now and hold all the way up until that post-COVID pop happens and then sell for a good profit. However, it does obviously carry some risk, because as you know, everybody's most favourable and lovable CEO in the world, Tim Martin, basically urged the government to reopen the pubs to avoid what he calls an economic mayhem. However, make of that statement as you will, basically what I think he's referring to in my own opinion is that he's saying open up the hospitality sector as soon as possible to avoid any more money being lost from there, because as you know already, they've been absolutely hit hard throughout the full pandemic. So like I say, make that statement as you will. Again though, it does look like they are very keen to open up again. Just going off of that statement there, I think everybody in the hospitality sector is very keen to open up again and drive the business up. So again, I think that he is very keen to open up his doors and drive that price back up to around about £16 a share, which it was at its all-time high. Obviously though, that could potentially go even higher for two reasons. The first reason being the post-COVID pop. Obviously when these doors open up again, everybody's going to go flooding in. I know for a fact I'm going to go straight into the pub for a nice chilled pint. And again, obviously they don't have massive competition, as you can see on screen. The competition isn't huge, and any competition that they did have, some of that has been lost due to the pandemic. However though, that is just speculation. There is some factors that do signal towards a good share price. However, saying where about it could potentially go and breaking all-time highs is really tough to call. It could still potentially go downwards from here just now because it does heavily rely on COVID in terms of opening up their doors and driving their share price up. It is out of their control. And also Tim Martin has suggested that he may possibly sack off some of his staff if the government doesn't let them open sooner than expected. And to be honest, this could see a potential dip in stock price, and I'm not going to lie, it wouldn't surprise me if he did it. And you could maybe see his reasoning slightly too, and he isn't known for being really lenient. Obviously he hasn't been known as the best CEO in the world, and as you can see on screen just now, he did at the start of the original pandemic basically say that he's not going to pay any of his staff 80% of their wages until the government full steam kicks in. So he wasn't going to be there to support his staff. So at the moment it is definitely just something for me to watch. I'm just going to be keeping a close eye on the stock and seeing how it performs over the coming weeks. But again, I don't want to miss on a potential buying opportunity if it dips even further. So I'm a bit unsure. It does look like a good buy, but timing is what is the main concern. As always though, this is just my opinion and my own speculations. Do your own research. And guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to subscribe down below. I reckon we'll be on 100 by the end of the weekend at the latest. And if you did like it, as always, please don't forget to like the video as well. Also as well guys, just before the video ends, I want to say a quick thank you to Patrick, who I put on screen just now, who kindly made up the free thumbnails for me to choose from today. So that is the kind of love and support we like to see on the channel. Thanks again for that, Patrick, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.